right? Always a mystery, but we're gonna get there. So before we start, we'd like to respectfully acknowledge that UNB stands on the unsurrendered and unceded traditional Wolastoqey land. The lands of the Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that connects our two campuses is known as the Wolastoq, along which live the Wolastoqey, the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. Wolastoq is also called the St. John River. Judges, guests, students, thank you for being here today. This event is all about celebrating the creativity, determination, and entrepreneurial spirit that our students have invested in their projects. Today, we'll get to see the launch of 5 exciting new ventures, and I'm thrilled to be here to share this moment with all of you. And traditionally, I go off script a little bit just to tell you guys, our students, how proud I am of all of you and of how much you've achieved so far. And just yesterday, we were talking about, it feels like yesterday was a fall term. We were chatting about things to do around New Brunswick and all that. So hopefully now we're going to have some time to do those things now that you are moving forward to next chapters. All right, going back to the script now, I'd like to invite Dr. Paul Meserole, President and Vice Chancellor of the University, to share a few words on behalf of UNB.
Thanks, Igor, and good morning, everybody. What a great turnout here at this annual event, one of which we look forward to each and every year. It's really great to see so many of our students and our entrepreneurs, and as Igor said, the journey from last fall to now, and it's great to see the efforts you've put in. I also want to acknowledge the wonderful supporters in the room and thank them for being here. Of course, let's start with our Fredericton Oromocto MP and the J. Herbert Smith Cultural Fellow, David Miles, who's here. Thank you, welcome. Of course, we have Morgan, where's Morgan Freeman, the head of the Chamber of Commerce here in Fredericton. They're very supportive of all things business in Fredericton, so welcome, Morgan. We have Jeff White from MBIF. Thank you for being here. Our judges, thank you for the work you're doing. And of course, I want to do a shout out to my J. Herbert Smith colleagues, Durendra Shukla and Don Blakely, Igor and the whole team. They do an extraordinary job, and want to thank them for their leadership. I've never seen Dom so happy and tanned, so he's not usually this happy. So I really want to congratulate the students getting to this point. Your professors, your supporters, all of us are very proud of the journey that you're on. We know that the J. Herbert Smith Center and the programs such as the Mtme program are a significant reason why New Brunswick is really well recognized as an entrepreneurial province, and that Fredericton is seen as a knowledge city and an entrepreneurial and innovation hub. Entrepreneurship and innovation is in the DNA of UNB. It really is a core part of why we exist as a university. And the J. Herbert Smith is really in the center of that. In the work that they do, home to over 270 startups, the center gives entrepreneurs what they need to be successful into the future. And so, it supports our students. There's a strong alumni base from the center in helping them solve problems, launch ventures, and indeed work to change the world. There's a lot of success stories that have emerged from the program over the years, and it shows and it illustrates a real-world commitment to making a difference in the community. I remember talking to Don Blakely about 7 years ago, when I was contemplating coming to UNB, and I made a comment about some of the programs, even the ones that are outside of the university. Why do you guys do this? And he said, we want to change the world. So that's what UNB wants to do, make a difference, and we're doing it in part through our wonderful students who want to really roll up their sleeves. The importance of entrepreneurs, I know everybody in this room would agree with me. They're critical for our economy, critical for our community. But I think you'd probably all agree it's not easy. So there's kind of 3 messages I just want to riff on in my 45 seconds, Igor, that are left. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a very hard journey. And I know the successful entrepreneurs in this room would probably agree. This is really hard. And so it takes special people. It takes special commitment. I've said before that entrepreneurs are the only people who prefer to work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week in a regular job, because they're driven by a vision to do something unique and different. Secondly, is that success as an entrepreneur requires a great deal of support. dedication, perseverance, and support is in part shown in this room. The people who are here, the people who are behind the scenes, people who have been supporting you both on a personal and professional level, the coaches, the people who are investing in good ideas. So it really is. It's a complicated journey. We know it's a journey that is not a straight line. It's filled with setbacks, uncertainty, but it requires a lot of support. So it's that person's not an island. You have a community with you, backing you, and that's why the work of the J. Herbert Smith Center and the Mtme program is so critical, because it helps illustrate and pull together a supportive community and framework to help not ensure your success, but set you up for success, because there's lots of things we can't control. And the third message really is that entrepreneurs, and it's a commending message, they really are critical for New Brunswick and our future. If you look at the history of this province and you look at our business community and the SMEs and whatnot in the large global companies, I mean, we're talking about some pretty extraordinary entrepreneurial families. I mean, start with the Irvings and the McCains and the Cooks and the Ganongs. They're all entrepreneurs, and they didn't have always an easy path. And so, and have they been critical to New Brunswick? Absolutely. And all the way down. I mean, we have the Wallace McCain Institute, that's part of UNB. There's 630 plus alumni from the Wallace McCain Institute who represent entrepreneurs throughout Atlantic Canada. So is that critical for our success economically, culturally, socially? Absolutely. So you're on that journey. We know you haven't been going on your own, but we know you've been working hard, and we're just delighted to be part of this work that you're doing. So congratulations. Unfortunately, I can't stay for the whole day. I can stay for a little bit, but we're excited to see what transpires and what your future holds. Thank you for being here. Take care.
Thank you, Dr. Mazerow. Next, I would like to invite our MP and J. Herbert Smith Center Cultural Fellow, David Miles, to share a few words.
Well, thanks, everybody. I wasn't planning on talking this morning, but Dom asked, and when Dom asks, I say yes. So, listen, I just want to say a couple words really quick. Being involved with this school over the last couple of years has been a highlight of my career. Honestly, when Dom asked me, John McLaughlin, Dom, they've invited me to be part of this, it allowed me to take a step in my career as a musician to think about things differently, to step back and be taken seriously as a person of ideas as well. And it was so valuable for me to be, supported in that way by you guys and believing that I could do this and add value to a school like this and a program like this. And I'd always believed very strongly in the connection between creativity and entrepreneurship. I was always it was very clear to me that what I was doing was similar to what my grandfather did when he started his grocery store on Regent Street, which then became Hogan's Jewel on Queen Street, which then became Hogan's Jewel and Walsh's Jewelry in the mall. And there was a connection, and I felt like I was risking things on this belief that I could build something and put it in the world that would be of value, and it would give me the opportunity to share my ideas and share what I believe to be important with the rest of the world. And it allowed me to travel and build a business. And it was such an incredible experience. And then to be able to be in the room with entrepreneurs with that energy. And it's exactly the same energy. The product is different, but the creativity is exactly the same. And we've talked about this lots in the class, this idea of coming from a seed of an idea and the risk and the belief that it takes to follow it through and work even when it's not working in your favor, and what that requires from a spiritual level to get through the hard parts, the support that Paul was talking about. All of those big elements are so important. Now, what I didn't realize is how much I was going to get from the students. It's been unbelievable. The most inspiring group ever. They really are. It's such an inspiring group of people. I don't think I would have run, and I'm not joking, if it hadn't been for the experience of watching these students. Because it allowed me to think about my life different, think about my purpose different in the community, because I saw what was happening at this school and the value that these students were going to add to our community and our province and our country. And it's super, super inspiring. As Paul just said, this is exactly the energy we need. Morgan and I were just talking about it. This is exactly the energy we need in the city, in the country, in the province, in the world, is that entrepreneurial spirit, the willingness to take a risk, to believe in something and to work really, really hard and put it into the world and add value to the world. And it takes a long time. And it takes a long time for people to buy into that idea because it's a risky idea. And now I'm in this side of the world. I'm an MP, I'm in government. But I want to add that energy to these conversations as well, to remember that these are the goals that we want to have as human beings, as people who want to take risks and want to engage with their ideas and want to build businesses and hire people. And just for us all to be able to see the value when a business succeeds, how much value it adds to our communities. Employment. Long-term employment, families being able to live here, settle here, bring their kids to school here. It makes these are the things that add long-term value, as we were just talking about the Ganong families, the McCain families. But then it just starts with tiny, small businesses. My grandfather's business on Queen Street that had 6 kids living upstairs, or on Regent Street, Regent and Needham is where there's a hairdresser there now. It was the Bolden's Convenience for a long time. That used to be a little grocery store in the 50s called Hogan's Grocery. And it's that belief and that ability. They raised 6 kids that now live in Fredericton, raised us, moved all over the country. I just think it's been so fun and so inspiring to see the dedication of these students, how intelligent, how focused they are, but also how committed they are to our community. It's not just a passing commitment to Fredericton. It's not just they're not just here for an education. It's really important that we recognize that. It's not just a stop so they can go on somewhere else. From my understanding and my experience, they love it here. And we love having them here. And I really, really hope that everybody can build businesses here, stay here, be here, part of this community, because it has added so much to my life and has added so much value to this community. And this school continues to do that every year. So that's just a personal note. It's been a really inspiring journey for me, and I look forward to keeping the connection alive with this school for years to come. I'm really proud to be part of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. One of my favorite parts of this program as a student was when I was asked to reflect on activities that happened that week. And this year we asked them to reflect after David Miles' sessions, and the feedback was amazing. So I think they share the same thoughts that you just did. Thank you. Next up, go back to script here. I would like to invite Dr. Dhirendra Shukla, the chair of the J. Herbert Smith Center, to say a few words. And good luck following those two, no, boss?
Firstly, I'm no David Miles, right? And you can see why specifically we have such a close bond with David Miles. When he speaks from his heart, from his soul, and he connects with the community in such a beautiful way. We are so fortunate and blessed to have David Miles as a part of our community representing us. He walked into the class with his guitar and took them through the creative journey and connected with them in a soulful way. He is an exceptional human being, and what a wonderful way to represent our community, and we are so thankful. David, thank you very much. I came to UNB, New Brunswick in 2009, really beaten and battered after about 15 years at Nortel. And came here and said, if you've read Unicorns in the Woods, you'll see me, they talk about me standing at a campus that employed about 35,000 people and being empty, and weed growing in the parking lot. And I said, where will the young people of Canada go? So the intention of all the things we do at the center, yes, we are based in UNB, we are based in New Brunswick, but we want to be the beacon of hope for all the young people around the world, around Canada, that you can do it here. and you can do it, and we'll be part of your beautiful journey, and we want to support you. I remember that when we launched the Mtme Masters in Technology Management Entrepreneurship Program, it was a 4-year journey of me fighting, how do I say it elegantly, but it was really a lot of hard work and a lot of pain and suffering to bring it to a point that we could even create this program. 4 years. And I think the former president, Eddie Campbell, called me in August and turned around and said, okay, so it's not going to be approved, but we are going to do it. You have 4 weeks to do this program. Can you do it? Well, I'm crazy. I said yes. And to see from that point the amount of support Paul has given us, he has shown up to every single event. His commitment level to entrepreneurship, supporting students, the changes in things that he's doing is really, really very exciting. To think of that vision of building a better New Brunswick, Atlantic Canada, and a Canada to give young people hope, energy, and passion. This is the place. I am so fortunate. Can you believe that I've been in New Brunswick at UNB longer than I've been anywhere in my life? That will be soon 30 years in Canada and 16 years in New Brunswick. This is incredible. I remember a person that hired me at Nortel. He said, "We'll make you an offer that you never go back to the UK." I think Canada is stuck with me. I am so blessed to be here and part of your wonderful family, part of all the things you're doing. And we're going to change the world together and make it beautiful. We have all the challenges to make us all unite and come together and build a beautiful country and build a phenomenal community of Canadians that come together and really do magical things. And you are part of all of that. I'm just hanging out, having fun, and you're doing all the hard work. And I love it. And the students' presentation today, I have seen them. They are just the best human beings you can ever find. And for them to leave home, they had other opportunities, other countries, come and do this. Not easy. And we are very fortunate to have you. As this master's program's journey comes to an end, note that we will double down and work even more closely with you to help and support you to become ultra successful. Because that is what is important for our community. So thank you very much. Good luck. Keep rocking it. Thank you.
So now I know why Igor asked me to be the MC, because I get to follow those three. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, David. Thank you, Durendra. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Don Blakely. Durendra's my boss.
So much to say there.
So today actually marks a moment where future entrepreneurs really launch what they've been working on since September. Most of the ideas began last September, except in one case when it started a few years before and has seen a few iterations. Since then, students have navigated challenges, made strategic pivots, and poured in incredible amounts of effort. And just to let the students know, you've got a lot of predecessors that joined us here today who've actually been through the program. Not just the two we're sitting over here with laptops in front of them, but there's a bunch of other students who have been through the program who are here to watch you today, including one of the judges. The MTME is a unique and demanding program. As Narendra said, it started a decade ago. He came to me and he said, hey, we're going to start this crazy program. We've got 4 weeks interested in teaching a class in it. Actually, he didn't tell me the 4 weeks part before that. He basically said, do you want to teach a class? Sure. He said, you got 3 weeks to get it ready. That was nice. And this is the 10th class that I've taught in MTME. Over the past year, again, these students keep on proving again and again why we do this. It's a difficult journey, which we talked about last night as we were sat at one of the local adult beverage houses here in Fredericton, enjoying some pops, about how difficult it is. First term is a crush. And if you can get through that, and if you can find your way around Head Hall, you're going to go on to do great things. And really excited to hear where their final pitches got them to today. Today, they're unveiling their ventures to the world, and we couldn't be prouder of what they've accomplished. Now, it's actually my pleasure to introduce the judges who are sat in front. This isn't just pitching just to say, hi, here we are. We can't do that in an academic setting. We have to be really have to tell them how well they have or have not done. But we've got an incredible set of judges here, 4 judges, and I'm going to start from my right to left in terms of introduction with Dinesh Bavdar. Dinesh from Toronto area is a compassionate innovator and certified design thinking professional driven by a passion for business transformation, data and analytics, and rapid execution. Over the past 20 years, he has helped leading organizations break through silos and unlock the power of data. In his recent work with a global enterprise, he led the development and activation of a data, analytics, and AI strategy that positioned artificial intelligence as a key enabler of long-term growth. Dinesh, thank you for joining us. Scott Everett is an entrepreneur, an engineer with passion for driving innovation and empowering positive change through technology. As the co-founder of Eigen Innovations, Scott advanced AI-driven solutions for industrial quality control. His background in mechanical engineering and leadership experience as both CTO and CEO have shaped his unique approach to solving complex problems with data-driven strategies. Currently, Scott is exploring the world of deep agentic systems and its transformative potential for a variety of industries. Scott, thank you. Sky Abels was, actually we were talking about it as we came in here. I remember seeing Sky set up behind me here with a weightlifting set as she was going through her capstone program last year. Sky is a 2024 graduate of electrical engineering from the University of New Brunswick, where she spent time as president of the Electrical, Computer, and Software Engineering Society for over 2 years. Sky is currently employed as the outreach coordinator with the Faculty of Engineering. Sky, thank you. And finally, Sam Poirier. Sam is a co-founder and CEO of Potential Motors, a double engineering graduate in mechatronics and MTME from the University of New Brunswick. Sam's passion for off-road exploration began with his childhood spent in Africa and the Middle East, driving various off-road vehicles across desert landscapes. He has led teams of AI and engineering experts collaborating with major global brands to redefine what's possible in off-road mobility. Sam Poirier. So before I introduce the first team, I do have some housekeeping items just to let you know what's going to take place. Each team will have 7 minutes for their pitch presentation. That will be followed by a 3-minute prototype video. After that, there will be question and answer session where our judges will dive deeper into the core of these innovative concepts, challenging our participants and encouraging their growth. So thank you all for joining us today. Please come welcome Pep Talk.
Hello. Thank you very much. So, we've all had moments in our lives where we felt like we weren't really sure of what we were doing, whether it was assembling an IKEA furniture or even learning to use a new app. So imagine as a business leader, you have a team that feels this way about their jobs. Unfortunately, that's the reality for some small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. It's not surprising that the data shows that 40% of new hires leave not as a result of lack of talent, but lack of support, which costs them over $29,000 in annual turnover costs, according to research by Talents Canada. SMEs recently are under some pressure. Last year, training budgets dropped by 18.5%. At the same time, in Canada, 43% of seniors aged 60 and above are at risk of social isolation. As a team, we saw this gap and we decided to investigate further. And here's what we found. The traditional training and coaching approaches cost between $300 to $2,500 per hour or inexpensive retainer fees, which is considerably out of reach for some SMEs. Internal training and coaching systems are sometimes not accessible or not effective. And when there is a coach mismatch, it's a waste of time for businesses and employees leave anyways. For retired experts, their skills and their wisdom can sometimes go untapped while social isolation rises. So Pep Talk flips this narrative. We are building a platform that provides a mutually beneficial solution, empowering seniors with a sense of purpose while providing businesses access to industry guidance through our coaching platform. Think of it like masterclass, but live, one-on-one, and built for businesses. For these businesses, they would have access to affordable and on-demand pool of retired professionals as coaches. This will reduce their training costs and potentially increase their employee retention rates. For seniors, it's an opportunity to have cognitive engagement post-retirement, and we believe this will go a long way to combat the crisis of social isolation in the society. How does Pep Talk work? Once onboarded, coaches get to set their own competitive baseline pricing. This ensures that we'll have an affordable pool for businesses to access. SMEs create a coaching request by setting their development goals and their interest. And our algorithm analyzes this request and matches them with ideal coaches with ranks. Once they are matched, they have an opportunity to schedule and have a session virtually with access to engagement metrics to ensure that their goals are well tracked.
How does Pep Talk make money? Our revenue model is based on two income streams, a 20% commission on coaching fees and a 10% service charge to our SMEs. The 20% commission allows us to provide matching services, access to a curated pool of clients, as well as other admin services, payment processing, scheduling, and access to coaching resources. For our SMEs, we provide matching services as well, engagement and progress tracking, as well as analytics and reporting. To achieve these revenues, we've sized the market. There are 400 million SMEs globally, with 32 million of them in North America. We estimate that 10% of them will spend $12,000 annually on coaching services. This represents a total market of over $480 billion globally, with an addressable market of $38.4 billion in North America. We're targeting 1% of this market for our obtainable market of $384 million. Based on our financial projections, we estimate that we will break even within our second year of operations and continue to grow steadily until we reach over $60,000 in monthly revenues in our third year. Now, there are other players in this market, but our unique value proposition is that Pep Talk enables relationship-based coaching experiences. Our coaches have time, they have knowledge, and they want to share. Retired professionals means just that. They're retired. They have no vested interest, and so employees can engage them freely without fear of poaching of their staff. We also provide analytics tools to our SMEs, and we use a matching algorithm for faster and more precise matching.
To deliver these values, you need a great team, and we've got just that. Meet Solomon, in charge of sales and marketing. He has sold across continents. Uche, heading product development, had brought several large projects to market. working for some global brands like Accenture, where she served as a consultant. Myself, Gabriel, I'm leading software development, and I've worked with some of Africa's largest e-commerce platform, building scalable systems. We started this journey last year, putting together all of the components that will ensure that we deliver value to our customers. And by mid of this year, we take a step back to look at our value with what the market needs. We found some gaps, and I've worked on them. We are now set for a beta testing. And by December, we'll be introducing AI features into our offering to improve overall experience, all in time for a launch in January of next year. To move from beta to launch requires some pool of rockstar coaches, and that's where you come in. We'll need your help because these coaches live among us. We'll need to be introduced to them. We started talking to some, and we'll need your help as we move closer to our goal. On the other side, we need early adopters, SMEs, that are willing to build a strong team. We started talking to Chambers of Commerce in Fredericton, and doors like that will need your help to open so that we can move, so that we can move from where we are currently to a great product. Now, for us, this is a journey to deliver great experience that matters. I would like for you to join us. Thank you.
I think maybe you press the...
Pep Talk is the all-in-one coaching platform built for SMEs. A smart platform where coaching becomes structured, measurable, and valuable on both sides. We will take you through how Pep Talk works, from onboarding, through the request process and matching, to session execution and analytics. Let's meet Sarah, the founder of a fast-growing creative agency with a problem many SMEs quietly face. Her business is growing and her team is expanding fast. She has multiple prospects to close, but internally, talent is stopped. Managers are stretched, and junior staff are looking elsewhere for opportunities. She's tried other training approaches, but none of it works. And then she discovers Pep Talk. To get onboarded on Pep Talk, Sarah provides information about her company. For coaches, they provide information regarding their expertise, industry, interest, and then they set their baseline pricing. Sarah logs into Pep Talk and creates her first coaching program in minutes, defining objectives, setting measurable goals, selecting KPIs, and inviting her team. She adds goals like sales, marketing, and negotiation, all tracked through custom metrics. Each team member is assigned a role with built-in visibility for observers and participants. Now Pep Talk's matching engine gets to work. It analyzes program goals, skill needs, number of participants, budget, and timelines, and recommends the best fit coaches with a match score and rank using smart filtering and dynamic rankings. Sarah discovers Daniel, a coach with the right skills and stellar reviews. Daniel, an experienced coach, logs in, reviews the program, and expects the match. He confirms availability and sees all the key details at a glance, from his response rate to his monthly earnings. Once matched, Sarah proposes a few session times. Daniel confirms one of them. They can now meet to have their session via video call. After every session, metrics update automatically. Pep Talk gives SMEs a scalable, data-driven way to engage in meaningful coaching that supports their talents. Behind Pep Talk's seamless coaching experience is a robust tech stack. A matching algorithm pairs SMEs with ideal coaches. Our backend, built on Nest.js, manages everything from login to scheduling. Redis ensures lightning-fast session loads. PostgreSQL secures all database records. And with Vite plus React.js on the front end, Pep Talk stays fast, scalable, and reliable. Pep Talk is redefining coaching. It is built for businesses that want to grow and powered by coaches who care. Start your journey today at peptalk.ca.
Thank you very much. Now we will move to question and answers. Would anybody like to go first? And I can move from there. If not, then I'm going to pick. Okay, Dinesh, please.
Yeah, so quick question. Coaches, I assume, are only retired professionals?
That's correct, yes. Our coach demographic is retired professionals.
And how do you qualify the coaches?
So there are a few criteria that a coach has to meet. And one of them is that, first of all, they have to be retired or at least close to retirement. We are looking at ages 65 and above. And they should have had executive roles or specialist roles or at least entrepreneurs within the knowledge industry. They should have a motivation or a desire to stay intellectually engaged post their retirement or to help the community. And they should have had 15 years plus of experience. And in terms of how we qualify them, there's a pre-screening that we have to go through in terms of the sharing their profile with us in terms of LinkedIn or online profile for us to make sure that they meet these qualifications.
Scott?
Yeah, I'm interested about your plan in terms of this feels like a lot of it's awareness, right? And so in your growth path, there's the technology side of it. But as engineers, we often like technology. We don't like to think about the marketing side. What is your guys' thought and approach for how you're going to progress and get the word out and create those market channels?
Thank you. We have thought really hard through that. And so we have a few strategies. First of all, we are going to adopt a three-phase approach. For the coaches, we hope to onboard at least 15 coaches within the first 6 months as part of our pilot phase. And we are relying on manual recommendations and the network within our community. There's already a rich community in Fredericton to start with. So those will be part of our early adopter program, which we call the Founding Coaches Program. And that will help us refine the product. In the second stage, the growth stage, which will be in the next 6 to 9 months, we are hoping to onboard more coaches, probably 40 plus. That will also be dependent on the network. We are hoping to leverage on their profile and their network to do that. Then at scale, after 9 months, we are now looking to formalize partnerships with some institutions. And we've thought of professional coaching institutions, professional associations within niche industries, and even alumni within the university, as well as some community groups and senior association organizations. That's our plan for recruiting.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sky?
I might be building onto the previous question, but what are you doing to find the coaches to start your program? Where are they and how are they going to find you?
Okay. So like I just mentioned, at scale, we are looking to partner with organizations, and there are professional coaching organizations or professional coaches that would probably reach out to them by ourselves, and as well as associations. So there are institutions and specific industry organizations or associations like an engineering associations and all those stuff. We hope to partner with them. We are also looking at community groups like the Rotary Club and Golden Age Fredericton. We've reached out to the Golden Age Fredericton already. We'll have to follow up on that, as well as senior association like the Association of Retired Professionals and the Provost Club. So those are the strategy we are going to adopt at scale. But through the pilot phase, we'll be relying on reaching out to people within the network, the university network, to help us improve the product.
Okay, I had a second question, if that's okay. So if you're looking for individuals over the age of 65, how long do you expect them to be with you? Would you potentially have higher turnover if you're working with folks that might not want to be in the workforce much longer?
Yep. So one of the things we've realized is that people stay active. People want to stay active much longer. They retire at 65 years, but they continue doing a whole bunch of other things, right? So we estimate that, and this is based on people that we've engaged, we estimate that they will stay active for at least 10 to 15 years. So that's not a quick turnover. And as people retire, we will continue to reach out and grow our pool.
Thank you. That was great.
Sam?
Great presentation, guys, by the way. And I think it's a really great idea. We've had a lot of success engaging with people who were kind of I don't know, coming to the end of their career and then looking to help out along the way. So you definitely see the value in that and see where people would want to get involved to help. So talking about the financial piece of what you guys are doing, you had 10% fees and 20%, or you broke it out in kind of two different pieces of it. How did you guys validate that? Have you talked to people to understand if that fits within the price point of what they'd expect, both from the coach's side and then from the SME side? And then how does that fit into your guys' financial model to actually, make your business work over time?
Right. So from the SME side, we've looked at what they actually spend, and we spoke to people, and we understand what they do spend on the average on coaches. So this is a lower price point relatively to what they're expecting. The range of what coaches will charge, also based on interactions, is around that $250 to $300 per session, right? So it is lower than the typical SME's cost, so we know that it is a good fit. What was your other question?
So first is how you came to that pricing.
Yes.
And then, so that's kind of, I guess that helps understand, they would pay that or they'd be okay with taking that amount. But then how does the amount that you charge for your company fit into that in terms of how you're going to grow the business and be able to, probably figure out all the issues with marketing and actually get people on board?
So from what you said, we've engaged with some people already, and what we found out is if you're going to put all of the logistics to get people to store this data, manage things comprehensively, you would be paying much more than what we're charging. So we had set a price point that is competitive and will deliver continuous value. Now, how does that tie to our financials? We look at our spend and we're looking at the scale we are looking at. So from the numbers, we eventually would hit profitability if we go with those percentage. And we did not just fix it at top percentage. We also have within our system a way to adjust these as we hit the reality. Now, what we've demonstrated is the plan. By the time we start the beta phase, we would make necessary adjustments as the information from the market inform us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question.
Yeah,
please.
so
Thank you, Dinesh.
so just walk me through a scenario as a retired professional, right? Years of experience. I can easily go on LinkedIn and set up a profile and say, hey, I'm open to consulting, coaching. Here's my hourly rate. Why would I come through Pep Talk to offer the same service I can independently do?
Because we're going to give you a pool of SMEs. So there's a ready market on the other side. That's the value we bring. You have access to a pool. We also help with the admin side of it. Your scheduling, the processing. We take that off your shoulders. So you come, you have access to a client pool, and then we take care of all the other things for you.
And we ensure also, in addition to that, that the SMEs you're engaging are getting value because they can track it from what we provide for them.
Okay, thank you.
Just to add to that, if you don't mind, there is a rating system as well. And so the goal is that if there's a pool as a coach that people can go and see how well you're performing and your rating, that gives you some extra layer of credibility and you want to engage there.
Okay, thank you very much, Pep Talk,
Thank you.
for your presentation. We're just going to take a couple of minutes to allow the judges to complete their rubrics. I was just going to say, and if you're anything like me, there is some coffee in the back of the room there, so you can always recharge your cups. Okay, thank you very much. We will prepare for our next pitch. Next, we will hear from Deep REM. As Alex is coming up to make his pitch, there's some people in the room I also want to identify who do work within the center and have helped the students along the way, starting with Dr. Kush Bubber from the J. Herbert Smith Center. Thanks, Kush. We have Dave Wagner, who is our executive in residence and lead mentor. We have our designers in residence, Colin and Andy, who are here, who have helped put together these pretty slides and logos and designs for the students that we've been along with. And we have Kat from the libraries, who's helped set everything up and shown them where they can get that secondary research to actually help them drive forward. So thank you so very much for everything you've done. So without further ado, Deep REM.
When was the last time you got a full night's sleep and actually felt rested? I'm Alex with Deep REM, and we are supercharging your sleep. In 1942, 11% of the adult American population got 6 hours of sleep per night or less. Today, that number is up to 40%. Insufficient sleep is a serious global health crisis. It leads to increased risk of illness and disease, such as cancers, heart disease, dementias, and many more. It reduces your life expectancy and quality of life. And beyond health, it even costs the US economy alone over $400 billion per year due to the productivity lost. This isn't just another inconvenience. This is a serious problem that needs an innovative solution. And that's where Deep REM comes in. We help you fall asleep faster, sleep deeper, and sleep longer. We're developing a sleep enhancement app that measures your biometric data either by connecting your wearable devices or by recording your breathing sounds during your sleep. It then assesses this data and determines your sleep patterns in real time and plays a sleep-enhancing soundtrack that uses research-backed frequencies to enhance that current stage of sleep. The result is that throughout your entire sleep cycle, your sleep is constantly being enhanced, resulting in an overall deeper and more restorative night of sleep. The benefits of this system are that it can help you fall asleep 50% faster. It can help you get 20 more minutes of sleep in the same amount of time in bed. And it can even help you get 35 more minutes of deep sleep, which is a critical stage of sleep, which helps your brain to repair itself. Looking at the broader social trends, we see that sleep issues are on the rise and have been increasing since 1942. And now consumers are turning away from legacy industries such as sleep aids and medications due to the harmful consequences of them. And they're turning to more innovative industries like the sleep tech industry, which is growing very, very rapidly. With Deep REM, we're looking to capture a $45 million market segment in 7 years of this very large global sleep tech industry, which is now worth $29 billion and is set to be worth over $130 billion in the next 10 years. And to do so, we'll be looking to acquire the key demographics of both millennials, who often prioritize their health, but they work long hours in stressful jobs, as well as Gen Xers, who also work long hours in stressful jobs, but they lose the ability to generate a quality sleep as they age. We'll be offering them a subscription-based app starting at $19.99 per month. And we have a multi-pronged go-to-market strategy with a primary focus on digital advertising to acquire these customers. So, unlike other solutions, such as sleep apps that play static, non-adaptive soundtracks all night, which don't actually enhance your sleep and can actually interfere with certain stages of sleep, or other sleep products that require expensive proprietary hardware, which are simply too unaffordable to the average consumer and often very uncomfortable to wear, Deep REM actually dynamically enhances your sleep throughout your entire sleep cycle with the devices that you already own. So based on our financial modeling, we're set to break even around this point here, which is about 28 months from our launch date, or about December 2027. And to do so, we'd require to get around 462 subscribers, or a monthly recurring revenue of around 16,700. The team is comprised of myself and our mobile developer, Dharmic, and between us, we have years of experience working at very small, medium, and very large companies, and we're supported by both business and technical mentors, as well as these organizations here. And with DeepRem, we've even pitched it at multiple pitch competitions and have won multiple awards as well. And this problem is very personal to me. I've always been a very light and restless sleeper, and I found it very frustrating and bothersome because I found it's been holding me back from achieving my goals. And that's why I connect so deeply with this problem, and why I'm so motivated, not just to solve it for myself, but for the thousands of others who are just like me and deal with this problem frequently. Back in May, we completed our proof of concept prototype, and we've been steadily working on our mobile app. We're currently developing our MVP, which we will be finishing in August, and then we will begin an alpha testing phase with early adopters, and we're on track for a September 2025 release to the public of this app. And looking to the future, we're looking to release our sound-based sleep staging algorithm in Q1 of 2026, and then begin the patent process to protect our core technologies in Q2, and then begin pilot and feasibility studies to assess the viability of using this technology in potential medical applications in Q3. But we need your help to help us make this a reality. We're looking for connections to partnership opportunities, such as to sleep labs or to sleep experts, who could help us validate the benefits of this technology. We're looking for guidance on our go-to-market strategy, and we're also looking for patent expertise to help us build defensibility into our core strategy as well. And with that being said, thank you for your attention. Would you like to sleep better tonight? I'm Alex with DeepRem, and we're supercharging your sleep. Thank you.
Bob is struggling to get enough sleep. He either can't fall asleep or wakes up in the middle of the night without being able to get back to sleep. He feels like an absolute zombie every time he gets up to go to work, and has been more frustrated and unproductive than ever before. He's suffering and has no idea what to do. Whatever he tries doesn't work. His life feels miserable. Bob is a millennial who, like many others, works in the office and can't seem to leave the stress of his job behind. Even though he's been tracking his sleep on his watch, it hasn't helped him in any way. With his desperation to reclaim his focus, energy, and really his whole life again, he downloads the DeepRem app. The app analyzes Bob's sleep baseline and unveils how terrible his sleep really is. As you can see, his sleep efficiency is atrocious, with his average awake time extremely high and low REM sleep as a result. DeepRem can help Bob fix these. All Bob has to do is pair his watch and hit Start Sleep. The app immediately starts tracking his sleep and outputs a sleep-enhancing audio based on his current stage of sleep. And as you can see, Bob immediately fell asleep and has been seamlessly transitioning through light sleep to the more restorative deep and REM stages in a much healthier sleep cycle than what he's normally able to achieve. DeepRem's soundtracks use research-backed auditory stimulation to help naturally guide Bob's brain to follow optimal sleeping patterns. Let's look closely at how the app helps support Bob's sleep. He starts out in a light sleep. DeepRem recognizes this and plays an associated soundtrack supporting this stage, and once it detects Bob's transition to a deep sleep, dynamically changes the soundtrack to match, now helping to deepen this stage. Now that Bob's been using DeepRem for 7 days, let's check in to see how his sleep has improved. In his dashboard, we can see that his sleep score has improved to 98. Now it's excellent. Great job, Bob. he's getting enough deep sleep, enough REM sleep, and has reduced his nighttime awakenings significantly. Well done, Bob. Your sleep is back on track thanks to Deep REM. Supercharge your sleep.
We will now start with questions, and Scott, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, thanks. Great presentation. It's a fascinating idea, and I agree. I think it's definitely something that's becoming culturally much more top of mind, right? So, just in terms of the technical aspects, do you have a partner that's the researcher, or how are you getting access to the sort of all of the deep tech stuff that's going into your Deep REM product?
Okay, so currently we don't have any partners in like the medical field, for instance. But what we've done is we've done like a wide search for academic studies, research reports, and whatnot, and looking at what actually works and what is scientifically proven to help people sleep better. And there's a number of materials out there that we're pulling from to basically create these soundtracks and tailor it to that specific stage of sleep.
Okay, and you have to create the soundtracks yourself, or so it is your own proprietary sort of
it is
audio generation? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, great.
Thank you. Sky.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Where did the 20 more minutes and 35 more minutes come from?
So those came directly from some academic studies that reported an increase based on the specific frequencies that they used for the study. So I can go back to the slide here. So yeah, it came from these three studies that reported these results.
So how does your app provide those 20 more minutes? And 35
So
more
basically, because we're using the same underlying like auditory stimulation technology, we're like, while the app isn't tested, like we haven't done like a clinical trial per se, we're taking the learnings of these research studies and then applying it for the same effect, pretty much.
Okay. And if I'm trying to fall asleep, what is the app doing? Do I need to be wearing a wearable device for it to monitor things, or how does it help me fall asleep at night?
So in its current iteration, yes, you would need to be wearing a wearable device because we're tracking metrics like heart rate and acceleration data from your watch. But in our roadmap, we included our sound-based sleep staging algorithm, which would basically be recording your breathing sounds and would be able to tell your stages of sleep from that. So once we were able to release that algorithm, then you wouldn't have to even wear your wearable, and we could determine your stage of sleep and basically tailor the audio for that state of sleep without any wearable device or whatnot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sam.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Fascinating topic. I read the book Why We Sleep years ago, which I'm sure you've probably read, and it kind of gets you hooked thinking about sleep. So, quick question. So for this, would you actually need to wear headphones while you're sleeping to get the benefits?
So wearing headphones would give you the most benefits. You could use a speaker. It just wouldn't be as effective. And it may interfere if you have a partner. It may interfere with your sleep if you're using a speaker. But yes, for the current iteration, you would have to use either your own headphones or your own bone conduction ear device or whatnot for that.
Makes sense. So maybe more on the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
So you talked about millennials and who's the other demographic? Gen X. Gen X, yeah. So can you talk a little bit more about why you landed on those two groups? Like, are those the ones who, have the money power behind them to buy this? Are they already showing that they're spending the money here? And second part of that question, the 45 million market that you talked about addressing immediately, is that based on these groups here that you got to that number?
Yeah, it is. So for these specific demographics, the reason why we're targeting them, specifically Gen X, is because as people age, they usually lose the ability to sleep from like a biological point of view. Their brain just isn't able to produce the same amount of like deep sleep as they were able to when they were younger. So it's just a perfect demographic for that, where people they're still they still want to like conduct their daily lives and be productive, but they're not able to get that same quality rest to feel recharged. And through our primary and also secondary research, we were able to come up with these various demographics. And for the methodology to determine our serviceable obtainable market here, we basically did take this into account, like how much these people account for in the population. I'll just go to this slide here to explain it a little bit more in detail. But yeah, we did make considerations for that as well. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So in our North American region, we took into account how many millennials and Gen X people there are, and what percentage is sleep deprived, and who is actively seeking help, like based on like the proxy data from like meditation apps and so on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dinesh.
Yeah, sorry, just building on that. So I think there's a missed opportunity in terms of tackling the age group between 10 and 20,
Okay.
right? High school students, young students. I'm sure all parents sort of understand when they have teenagers, the lack of sleep that they're getting. So why is that group left out in the market?
For a few reasons. Just from the biological point of view, when you're younger, you just have more of an ability to generate sleep. So even if you are sleep deprived, you can make it up the next night a lot easier than you could if you're in an older demographic, for instance. And dealing with the under 18 age group, there's always a lot of like red tape there. So I just want, like, at least for our initial release, we'd want to stay away from having to be required to label ourselves as like a medical device. So we don't have to go through like all the regulation. Like we'd ideally like to be a wellness device or a wellness application at the start, just so we can reach a broad market of people. And then from there, then we could start to look at other demographics like the 10 to 20 and see if that's a fit as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got time just for one or two more questions, if anybody has any more.
You have a question? I was just gonna ask about like the amount of funding that you're projecting that you're gonna need for all the early stages, like over the next 2 years to get to break flow or cash flow neutral positive. What are you anticipating you're gonna actually have to invest in to get to a place where you can get those 462 subscribers?
It's around $200,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's mostly towards the development of the app.
So it'd be split between development costs, operation costs, and then also marketing spend to acquire those customers.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
One last question.
Sure, just curious. I probably got a million technical questions I couldn't get into, but are you planning to leverage the existing sleep tracking that some of these phones and apps already do? Because there's tons of data already around that. Or are you planning to like build your own that side of things as well?
So we actually, in our current application, we do leverage some of the Android Health Connect sleep data. We actually pull a 30-day baseline report from that data. But we cannot, unfortunately, use that data for our actual like real-time sleep enhancement system, just because it's not updated in real time. For instance, Android Health Connect on Android, it only updates the servers around every 15 minutes. So it's not enough reliable real-time data for us to use it to help like monitor their stages of sleep. So we do have a proprietary sleep staging algorithm that we have built in to our system.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Deeprem.
Thank you.
So I can get that, Sam, it's okay. So once again, 2 minutes or 2 or so minutes for the judges to do their assessments. Again, coffee's in the back for those of you who didn't grab it. So judging is done for this section. We're now going to take 15 to 20 minute break, and then we'll be coming back with Kura. Kush, sit down. We are waiting for our fourth judge, so we still do have a few moments. So if anybody does want to recharge their coffee beyond Durandra,
Been over to Japan anymore? Oh, Copenhagen. But he is in. Yeah. I gotta get there before they take off. Yeah.
Just to reiterate, ignore the fresh, rich color. We're going to move straight to Kura.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We will now call upon Kura. So let's everybody welcome Kura to the stage.
Oh, okay.
And there should be one to go back.
Wait, how do I go back?
Yeah, this one. There you go.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelvin. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nana. Today I'll be presenting to you Kura, a platform with a mission of revolutionizing trust in digital transaction. If you've ever bought something on Facebook Marketplace in Canada, it's a pretty simple process. You find something you like, you interact with the seller, you meet up, and if it's a product you like, if it's a product, you inspect it and then you pay for it either by e-transfer or by cash. However, in Ghana, the process is quite different. Where I'm from, the process is quite different. Sellers complicate this process by requiring a deposit before you even see the product. This opens up a lot of opportunities for fraud and scam, which I have been a victim to. This is a huge problem that last year, $32 million was lost due to fraud and scams. And in the past 5 years, data from the Bank of Ghana indicates that $138 million has been lost. And 4 out of 10 Ghanaians have experienced fraud one way or the other. This is as a result of lack of secure payment options on consumer-to-consumer and freelance platforms, minimal protection for buyers, and limited mechanism to verify the identity of the people involved in a transaction. But this is where Kura comes in. We are providing a wallet-based decentralized trust infrastructure to eradicate or to solve the issue of fraud by providing a digital escrow platform that holds on to payment until both parties have confirmed that they are satisfied with the transaction outcome. A trust score that provides quality and quantitative data for users to assess the credibility or the trustworthiness of the individuals involved in the transaction. And finally, digital identity verification to verify that whoever is at the other side of the party is actually who they say they are. The entire peer-to-peer payments market in Africa is about, the value is about $938 billion, with Ghana making about $2.19 billion. Kura plans to obtain at least 5% of this market over the next 3 years, over the next 5 years, which gives us $108 million. Now, someone would ask, who is Kura for? Kura is for freelancers, gig workers, marketplaces, buyers and sellers in the marketplace, and small business owners. Now, let me explain or reiterate how the process works in Ghana. You find a product you like, you interact with the seller, and then they demand that you make a deposit even before you see the product. What if you make the deposit and then you don't hear from them again, which I have been a victim to again. So Kura solves this problem by making it very simple. You come to our platform, you initiate a transaction. What Kura does is that we notify the seller that, okay, the buyer has initiated this transaction. We verify the identities of both parties, that is the seller and the buyer, and we will only release payment when both parties have confirmed that, okay, the product is actually what I saw and I have made the delivery. It's not supposed to appear this way. Well, what Kura does better than our competitors is we offer a holistic trust infrastructure, ID verification, all at a competitively low fees. There's VesiCash, TrustUp, and Escrow, but it is worth to note that Kura is the only digital escrow platform in Ghana. All these other players are in different parts of Africa. With our unique selling proposition, we have AI fraud detection, holistic trust infrastructure, escrow sizes for all transactions, and cross-border reach and scalability. With our business model, we are adopting a flat fee of 2% on transaction fees, API marketplace, data licenses, and partnership with marketplaces. Financial projection, Kura plans to make $200,000 in our first year of operation. In our second year, we plan to double it. And our third year, we plan to go aggressively and secure $1 million in revenue. With our ARCs, we are asking for $150,000 for 18 months runway. What we are trying to do is develop our product further, focus on customer acquisition, and obtain our MSB license. We are also asking for mentorship and strategic partnership with relevant partners. With our roadmap, our MVP is almost done. We are planning to launch it by August, and by September, we are planning to continue develop the product by introducing our trial score, fraud detection, and dispute resolution process. And the last quarter of the year, we plan to scale regionally and at least acquire one marketplace as a partner. The team is made up of myself, Nana or Kelvin Prince. I'm a software engineer and a product manager with experience in banking, fintech, and finance. I've worked with JP Morgan and Celtel. Here, my Kwesi is also a senior software engineer with about 12 years experience working with multinational companies. Join us, make secure transactions a reality for everybody. Thank you.
As an avid online shopper frequently buying secondhand items on marketplaces like Facebook, Nana has unfortunately experienced fraud and been ripped off a few times. Now more cautious, he's found Kura, an app that promises secure, fraud-free transactions. Kura's quick setup guides users like Nana through account creation with email and mobile OTP verification for strong two-factor authentication. Mandatory KYC ID/passport ensures identity verification and fraud prevention. Users securely link payment methods and create a transaction PIN, with optional Face ID for convenient access. This robust process ensures a secure and personalized start on the Kura platform. Nana's dashboard is clear. Buying a camera from an unknown seller, he uses Kura's digital escrow. He enters the amount, seller's email, and item description. Kura holds her payment securely until delivery. Nana adds an expected delivery date and reviews the transaction summary. The escrow transaction is successful. When the camera arrives, Nana confirms delivery. He reviews the details one last time, entering his transaction PIN to authorize the release of the funds to the seller. Funds are instantly released. Nana's Transactions tab provides his complete history, including detailed receipts for escrow purchases. He can see the full process timeline, from payment secured to funds released, a transparency that builds trust and offers dispute options. Delivery confirmation instantly releases funds. The Activities tab keeps him updated. Overall, Kura's ID verification, digital escrows, and trust score empower Nana, making his payments secure and eliminating fraud concerns. At Kura, security and reliability are paramount, and our infrastructure reflects that. Our core transaction and escrow logic runs on the robust Golang, while our intelligent fraud prevention models utilize Python. We deliver seamless experiences across mobile with React Native and the web with React plus TypeScript. Data is managed through PostgreSQL and MongoDB, all securely stored and scaled on AWS. complete with encrypted storage and automated backups. Our Docker, Kubernetes, and CI/CD approach guarantees consistent, secure deployments. At Kura, we make transactions safe, secure, and protected.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move to questions, and we're going to start with Sky this time. Or not.
Thank you, that was awesome. Can you go back to your revenue streams? It says you have a 2% transaction fee. How else might you be making money?
So there's a 2% flat fee on transactions. We have API Marketplace. That is, if any business has an online shop, right, that wants to provide an additional layer and confidence to buyers, they can integrate our platform on as a checkout. So users can actually check out on their websites with Kura. That is the API Marketplace. Also, we would integrate with marketplaces, large marketplaces, like for a relatable experience, let's just say Kijiji. So if someone wants to buy something on Kijiji, they can actually go through the checkout process with Kura. So that is where we plan to we get revenue from. So the API Marketplace, the partnership with the marketplaces. So if a marketplace wants to, ensure that all their users have an additional layer of protection, they would will be integrated onto their platform. So every checkout goes through there. We make a revenue of it, plus the 2% on the transaction fees. So that's one. And data lines is basically data is the new gold, as they say. So we would also be leveraging that as well. And in the future, we'll be including wallets. So with the wallet or the transactions of the wallet fees, there will also be transaction charges on that as well.
Okay. Has Kijiji or Facebook or any of those types of industries shown any interest in having a third-party source?
Yep. Not Kijiji specifically. There's a company called Gigi. Gigi is actually one of the largest marketplaces in Africa. I happen to know their CEO and then the country manager. So we've had discussions, and they'll be one of the companies that we'll use as our pilots. So yeah, we'll leverage on that and then build other partnership with other companies.
Thank you.
Sam.
Nice work, and we should definitely talk about the pilot side of things.
Yes, sir.
Super exciting. Just one quick point off your question there. Have you thought about using the float in between transactions to generate revenue as well, or if there'd be opportunity for that?
Yes. However, it depends on, users. No, the traditional thing is you meet someone, you get your money almost immediately. However, we want to keep it. We want to keep it and make sure that in case anything goes wrong, you can, as a buyer, you can have your money back, right? But most from our customer discovery, we discovered that most users are not as patient, to leave their monies in there for like quite a long time. So we cannot use their float to generate additional revenue. But over the period, that's why we want to include the wallet bit in there, so people can actually have store money in there. So when that is done, we can use the floats for any other revenue generation processes or avenues.
Awesome. So then on I guess the go-to-market. So it sounds like you do have a company that you're planning to work with for that first launch. Yep. So just to clarify, do you need a marketplace to be able to, or are you able to kind of launch before you have a marketplace partnership?
We don't necessarily need a marketplace. However, Gigi has 40 million unique monthly visitors, right? So when we integrate with their platform, it gives us the opportunity to scale very, very fast, or have like a lot of people using our platform very, very fast, right? But we also have a standalone app, which I demonstrated here. So if you don't want to go through the marketplace, or you have marketplace or anything, you can come on to download the app and then go through the entire process. All you need is the email of whoever the other party is, or the seller is.
Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Dinesh.
Yeah, so I can understand and appreciate the buyer being protected and releasing funds when you take delivery, etc. What I didn't understand was, how is the seller protected?
So with a seller, if you've ever bought something on Facebook Marketplace, on their description, they normally say, if you ask if this product is available, we won't respond, right? Basically, what we do is that we guarantee the sale for the seller, right? So instead of having a lot of people managing a lot of conversations, is this available? Is this available? If a person have actually gone ahead to make the deposit and make the payment, you as a seller, you don't have the headache of responding to this message, respond to the other message and all of that. At least you know that this person is actually serious about the product and has gone ahead to make the sale. So that is one way that we ensure or guarantee the sale for the seller. So pretty much.
But I only receive funds once the buyer has accepted.
Yes. So in a case where the buyer confirms or doesn't confirm, and he disputes it, we don't just take the side of the buyer and then we revert the money to him. We go to a dispute resolution process. What does the seller has to say? What are the proof? So we review the information provided by both parties, and then we evaluate that. Okay, on this transaction, the buyer, you are wrong. The seller has to be awarded the money. He actually did the delivery. You are the one that trying to be funny. So that's how we protect them.
Thank you.
Scott.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned, is there a certification that you have to achieve or anything? Is there stages that things you have to accomplish in the next little while before you're able to release this?
If ideally, yes. However, with our approach we are using, we don't necessarily need it. We are leveraging a third-party partnership, so a company that already has the license, and then we are just integrating them as their payment processing partner. So ourselves, we don't hold or onto any money, because in order to hold customer deposit, you have to be a licensed, special license company with the license to hold deposit. We don't do that, right? So, but in the long term, to be able to own the entire value chain, value delivery process, we want to acquire the MSB license and then not depend on any other third party. So, what if they cut our lifeline tomorrow? It means we are screwed.
Yeah, and so what's the pilot process look like? What do you need for getting fully integrated into this initial marketplace?
It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. The discussions have been done. We have an API documentation, just like integrating PayPal on your website. So you go there, look at the documentations, and then basically write your code to conform with the standard, and then it's integrated on your platform. So that's pretty much. Well, everything else is just business and strategic talks, partnership. That's done, and then we're good to go.
So you expect the 50,000 transactions to be fairly reasonable within the first year?
I assure you, it could be more. But,
could be more,
I think I've been advised not to say we are being conservative. So,
okay. Fair. Right.
Yeah, there are 14 million monthly users. So if we are 50,000, like 0.005% of the entire numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the judges? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Kura.
Thank you.
Again, we will just take a few minutes for the judges to be able to do their scoring, and Durandra can go get another cup of coffee.
We're going to get more. Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up and then I'll.
You guys need to hire a team to do all the online
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If I could ask you just to take your seats once again, and we will be moving to our final presentation. Narendra's still getting coffee, so just, they're small cups. I don't know how it takes them that long. So, ladies and gentlemen, our final pitch from Mtme Next 2025, Mtme Swing Solutions.
Test, test. All good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bryson here today on behalf of Mtme Swing Solutions. At Mtme, we're helping golfers get a better grip on their game. I'll start by taking a look at these three sports and one key thing they have in common, and that's that they all require a piece of equipment that acts as an extension to the body. The problem is that these pieces of equipment have no feel to them. It's impossible to know if we're making the right connection with our equipment, tell the difference between real and feel, and keep track of grip habits without proper feedback. This is especially important for the sport of golf, where a good grip allows everything in the swing to happen naturally, and ball trajectory is highly dependent on precise swing mechanics. That's why one of the first things a coach says when they hand a new golfer a club is hold it like a baby bird. But what does this really mean, and how can we quantify it? That's where Mtme comes in, with our custom grip and companion app solution that provides golfers and coaches with grip-based insights they've never had access to before. If we take a closer look at the product, it's intentionally designed to replicate a standard golf grip so that we impact the golfer's feel as little as possible. However, if we take a look under the hood, it's anything but ordinary. In the top left, you can see 2 layers of our custom PCB that houses the primary electrical components. And just below this, running along the shaft, is our array of 16 pressure sensors that allows us to provide users with high-resolution, grip-based feedback. Additionally, we've designed an injection molded casing to protect the electronics from the wear and tear of a golf course. Diving into the market side of things, we broke our competition up into 2 main segments. The first of which is fixed simulators, including companies like TrackMan, and the second is on-club attachments, such as Blast Golf. The second category is where we fall into. While both Blast and TrackMan provide swing motion capture and Blast shares other similar features, the 2 of them lack the key value differentiator of grip strength measurement that Mtme offers. which takes us into our value proposition that's driven by grip strength measurement and supported by swing motion capture and beginner-friendly feedback. Now, who are we providing this value to? It starts with amateur players. These are individuals looking to train on their own, whether they be at the driving range, on the course, or at a simulator. The device is completely portable and there's no limitations on where it can be used. Additionally, we have teaching professionals. These are individuals looking to give their clients that extra piece of feedback to accelerate the training process. We validated these two primary customer segments by speaking with industry leaders at PGA-recognized events, including the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida, the British Golf Show in High Wycombe, UK, and twice now at the Explore MB Open at Macquarie Golf Course, most recently at the start of this month. To further our research, we dove into a report on golf training equipment and found that the global market comes in at $2.7 billion, with $313 million of that attributed to the North American market. Additionally, we estimate that we can capture our target market share of $35 million within a 7-year span based on our preliminary financial analysis. This forecast also predicts a break-even date of November 2028 based on a product launch in May 2026. This product launch date is intentionally chosen so that we can leverage the momentum of the 2026 golf season. Now, how do we plan on capitalizing on that revenue potential? It all starts by using our existing Shopify storefront to sell the device online, and then moving it into brick and mortar stores such as Golf Town, Dick's Sporting Goods, or Sports Check. And finally, we'll leverage our existing companion platform in conjunction with a freemium revenue model to generate continuous revenue from existing users. And in summary, the device will be sold at a price point of $250 USD per unit, while the premium model will come in at $8 USD per month. The premium version of the platform will provide users with AI-driven insights and performance tracking that aren't available on the base version of the app. The team behind all this is made up of 4 recent engineering graduates from the University of New Brunswick. We're all passionate about the sport of golf and helping others get better through technology. One key piece I want to point out is the gentleman who's not in the room right now, as he's studying sports engineering at Sheffield Hallam University in the UK, and he's been fortunate enough to work alongside industry leaders, including Mizuno and Golf Pride. We anticipate that as we move forward, these connections will be key assets for our team. Now, how can you help? It starts with commercialization advice. Bridging the gap between prototype and product has been one of the biggest challenges for our company, so any advice you have on building a more high-fidelity product through manufacturing or how to get this into users' hands is greatly appreciated. Additionally, we're actively seeking to start the conversation with angel and pre-seed investors as we recognize how important this will be for our company following graduation. And with that, I just want to say that Mully is very excited about the future of golf training technology. That's why we're not just improving swings, we're changing how golfers approach the game, one grip at a time. Thank you very much, and we'll move to the prototype demonstration.
At Mully Swing Solutions, we understand how difficult it is to truly measure grip pressure, one of the most important but invisible aspects of the golf swing. To solve this issue for golfers and coaches, our team has designed an intelligent golf grip with an array of pressure sensors for high-resolution grip strength feedback. Our companion platform is built with Flutter, while the hardware is powered by an NRF microcontroller from Nordic Semiconductor. In future versions, we'll integrate Firebase to enable performance tracking and cloud-based insights. Our prototype connects wirelessly via Bluetooth to our mobile app in seconds, making setup fast and seamless. Users get live plots of grip pressure across time, helping them visualize when and how pressure changes throughout the swing. Real-time pressure bars give instant visual feedback, showing how firmly the club is gripped relative to a target range. And our newest feature, a grip consistency score, allows users to test how steady their grip is across multiple swings. We designed this for golfers to try during our recent Explore NB Open demo. These are just a few of the functional features already implemented in Mully's current prototype, designed to address the problem of grip pressure being unmeasured and lacking clear feedback for improvement. Now let's look at how this technology empowers golfers to improve their swing through a quick story featuring 2 customer personas. Meet Cody, an amateur golfer struggling with consistency in his game. Some days his swing feels solid, other days it's off, and he doesn't know why. Meet Emma, Cody's golf coach. She's been working with him on posture, tempo, and alignment, but something still isn't clicking. What she's missing is a way to actually measure Cody's grip pressure, a crucial part of the swing that often gets overlooked by her clients. That's where Mully comes in. Emma hands Cody a club with the Mully Smart Grip and opens the app. They review his first swing together, and for the first time, they can see the issue. The pressure map shows a late spike in Cody's trail hand right before impact, a subtle squeeze that's been throwing off his release. Emma adjusts his grip and has him swing again. This time, the pressure profile stays smooth and balanced. Cody immediately feels the difference, and the result shows in the shot. With Mully, Emma finally has a tool that turns guesswork into feedback, and for Cody, he can see the data and understand what to improve. It's a clear path to more consistent, confident swings. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the course.
Thank you. We'll now move to questions, and we'll start with Sam.
Nice work. I could probably use that for my putting game at least. Yeah, no, I think it's super cool, and it's not surprising. The challenge now is like, how do you actually get it produced? That side of things. So I'm sure there's lots to dig into there. Just around like how the product actually works itself. Is there a way that you guys are actually validating like what grip is a good grip? Like, is there data on that, or have you guys had to kind of figure that out yourselves?
Yeah, for sure. So there's very limited data on that at the moment. There are some preliminary studies out of universities that we've looked at. But to start out, at least, we're just mainly trying to provide a way for coaches to be able to quantify that value. Even if at the start we can't provide the insights on what approach to take, we know that that customer segment has the background and has the experience to make use of that raw data, at least, if that makes sense. So to build onto that, at the start, it may be more of a tool specifically to golf coaches. And then once we can provide that advice based on a data set, then we can move into the golfer segment.
Makes sense. And then is there a specific club you guys are starting with, or can this be used on any of them right now?
Originally, we were thinking of putting it on a driver because we made the assumption that that was the most applicable club. However, we talked to a few golf coaches, and they mentioned how you should go on a putter because that's the club you get the most use of it around. And that's where a lot of the precision comes in. You can miss the hole by if you just by a millimeter, and it makes a big difference. So, yeah. So to answer the question, we'd probably be putting it on a putter to start, and that's why we made the transition from this is our previous prototype on an iron to our putter that you can see here.
Yeah. Nice. It's looking more refined.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's definitely more flashy, but it's a lot better getting it down to that size. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dinesh?
Thank you.
Yeah. So 2 questions. One is, I'm buying the entire grip, right?
Correct.
Right? So what weight does that add to the current club?
Yep.
And I think it's $250 per grip. So am I buying that per club?
Correct. So the thought at this point is that a coach, for example, would have it on one club and share that with various clients. We would look into a package of a set of 14, which is the standard amount of golf clubs in a bag at any given time. We haven't figured out that value, what that price range would be now. But yeah, the product, in terms of what kind of weight it would add, it would be very minimal. Especially, we're trying to look into how to even make it tournament legal, if that would be there's any kind of possibility into that. So we're really trying to minimize that. And the only dimension that would be adjusted a little bit is at the end of the grip, so that we can store the electronics at the top there. Wouldn't make it any wider or anything.
And sorry, just one more. And is that something I can install as a user, or do I have to get it professionally installed?
No, you'd be able to install it yourself. So I'll pull up an example here that we put together. This is so to explain how a standard golf grip is installed, they all have these holes at the top so that when you slide it down the shaft, it lets air out. While we have our electronics at the top, we had to find an alternate solution to that. So we're designing a small hole on the side that goes in at a 45-degree angle. Maybe one on each side to keep it symmetrical, but that way, when it's being installed by the user, the air can still flow out without being blocked by the electronics. Yeah. Thank you.
Scott?
So, in terms of market and sort of the evolution of data and data collection and whatnot, what happens in the simulator world, and is that also a viable market where you can actually get the labeled data, quote unquote, of the effect of the shot and all that kind of stuff? Is that something that you guys have considered?
Are you referring to like partnering with companies like TrackMan or something?
Yeah.
That's something we haven't dove into specifically, but we would definitely, we've talked as a team and we see that as a potential path. Haven't done specific research into it yet, though.
Okay.
That's the way I'll put it.
This type of technology isn't usually a part of one of the main simulator.
Correct. Yeah, those you would bring your own clubs. You can use anything there. They're all radar based, so you can. It just tracks it looks at parts of the club head and rotation of the ball, so you can use any club, and it's all radar based.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And so, in terms of where you guys are at in the next phase of business growth, a lot of it's going to be investment into scaling into an actual, I guess. How many do you have? A bunch of prototypes out there in the field now, or you still need to kind of get to a phase where you can actually produce X number to
still get to a phase where we could manufacture, say, 100 and get that out for pilot testing. That's something that we really want to get done in the fall, just to get that preliminary user validation for people to test it out.
Right.
And yeah, again, that would be in a form. Even though we'd be moving into the manufacturing setting, it would still be a version 1, and there'd be stuff to build upon there. But that would be a big step for us to take, and we're really trying to make that effort there.
Okay. And you're finding, like in terms of the marketing channels and going to golf events, you're getting good exposure. Are you going to have to invest in a lot of marketing dollars in the next phase of trying to get the word out there to golfers, or?
Potentially. It might. What we're looking at doing now is for that pilot testing phase I mentioned, starting out with the golf coaches. So we've already built a handful of connections that we'd be able to send a product to, and just get a little bit of feedback to keep going. But again, we may need to look into other things like digital marketing just to get the word out to coaches and see who's interested in testing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sky.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
How long does the piece last? Like, how many swings can you do?
So that's something we haven't tested specifically. Standard golf grips, some people regrip them every year. Some people regrip them. I don't think I've ever regripped my clubs actually, but that's something I don't have a specific answer to. But we would want it to last someone at least 3 to 5 years at minimum to get their value out of it. I think. Obviously, the longer the better, but we do need to look into that a little bit.
Are the sensors you're using, do they have some type of lifetime warranty, or if they make the use of their club, do they have to spend the extra $250 to buy a new one, or is there some type of setup that they can continue being a customer but not repeatedly spend that additional cost?
In terms of the lifespan of the sensors, that's also not a value that I'm specifically aware of. If the thing were to break down, depending on what kind of warranty we have built into that, the person would have to purchase another one. So say, for example, we guaranteed it for 3 to 5 years, and it broke, and it lasted them 7 years, then it might just be a thing where they purchase another one. And hopefully by that point anyway, there's more versions that come out, and they can keep building onto their training equipment at least.
Okay. And how many different times can it be moved to a club? Like if a golf coach has it, how many times can they move it around?
At this stage, we're believing it's just going to be one. That's how most golf grips would work. If we can,
I know nothing about golf.
Yeah.
You can't tell me.
No worries. If we find a way to be able to take it off and put it on multiple clubs, obviously ideal. But it might be the type of thing where once it's on there, to take it off, it would probably make it non-functional anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Other questions from the judges? Sam, I think you've got one.
So can you talk a bit more about where you guys are actually at with producing these, and then with, I guess, the next stage of going to try and actually produce these at maybe a larger scale? Yeah. Like how much is actually going to take you guys to get to that like break-even point that you guys showed on there? Like what's the investment to make it happen?
So I'll start by talking about where we're at with our production. Our electrical side is going along very smoothly. We've been able to produce a handful of these, which is actually what's tucked under the grip here. It's more so the manufacturing side where we're trying to build those relationships with some partners overseas and figure out a way to make a quality golf grip that won't feel weird to a golfer. And sorry, could you repeat the second part of the question about the analysis?
Yeah, so, and maybe clarifying point on this, so are you guys building these yourselves, or are you working with the manufacturer right now to do this stuff?
We're
And then-
designing it ourselves, and it's being assembled by a manufacturer. So we send them the PCB files, and they put it together themselves.
Cool. And then the other part of my question was, do you have an idea of how much it's going to take for you guys to actually get to like that break-even point that you guys talked about on there, where you're not going to be just investing cash into this?
You're talking about like number of unit sales, for example, or?
Like, you know, just how much upfront cash?
Oh,
will it take
gotcha.
you guys to get through that kind of
Yeah.
you know, chasm of death.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the top of my head, I don't have a very specific number, but it's somewhere between 2 and 700 grand. So in that range, I believe. There may be more that we don't see coming. Like I know the injection molding setups can be quite pricey and quite time consuming as well. But so there's going to be a lot that we have to figure out and learn from. But that's a good ballpark there, somewhere in that 2 to 700 grand range. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any last questions from the judges? Okay. Thank you very much, Bryson.
Thank you.
While the judges take a few minutes to finalize the scores, and we're going to compile them, I just want to thank everyone for joining the students here today and to hear what these amazing projects have been. So thank you very much all for joining us here today. And I also want to take an opportunity to thank the students. It's been a long year, and kudos for getting to this point. So congratulations to all of you for the great work you've done. And Uche, it is over, so now you can relax a little bit. So, okay, so we're going to be just a few minutes, and then we will have a couple of prizes to hand out. Talk amongst yourselves. Durandra, go get more coffee.
So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So we have added up all the scores. I want to take this opportunity to thank the judges for their insightful questions, to be able to draw more depth out of what the students were able to present in the 7 minutes and the 3-minute video. So on behalf of the J. Herbert Smith Center, thank you all very much for being here with us today. And again, thank you to all the students. The scores were close, as they are every year. So we will be awarding prizes to the first and second place teams, and I'm going to ask Kush and Rendra and Dave Wagner to come to the front, and they're going to be presenting the checks to the second place and the first place team. And I'm going to go over and point out to them which check to give at which time. Was that confusing? I don't think so. So I'm going to start with second place. And second place goes to Deep Rem. I always love how after this, all the students are happy to walk away with the biggest check they've ever seen in their life, just physical size. And finally, in first place, Mtme Swing Solutions. We'll get all three of you in the second shot. See, oh, we'll get. So once again, thank you very much to the judges for their hard work, and thank you so very much to the students for such incredible presentations. As I said, the scores were incredibly close, only a few points between first and fourth, so well done to everybody. We ask you to stay around. We do have some lunch, and you can continue the conversations that you've been having. Thank you so much for everybody joining us here today, and that's it. Thank you.